We're going to talk about a really fun shot to play. That is the flop shot. Let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? Scott Oaken coming at you. We're going to talk about this flop shot here. This is a shot made famous by Tiger Woods. I grew up wanting to hit this shot because of him, and it's really a useful shot. I like seeing my players work on this for their short game, because it offers a lot of options around the greens. So a couple of those options are going to be, what are we trying to do? Well, we're trying to make a swing where the ball comes out soft and lands softly so it doesn't roll too much, but it allows us to make a swing that's big enough so it can go through the grass, right? So we don't get caught up. So it can be really good for that scenario. It also can be hit from shorter grasses, but typically you're going to see this done more from the rough when you are chipping, okay? So let's talk about what we need to be able to hit this flop shot. So for a flop shot, the first thing is we have to look at the lie. We need a lie that has a couple of things. One, we need some cushion under the golf ball where the club can get under it, but we got to be careful that there's not too much. That ball is maybe sitting way up on top of some grass or, something like that, or our feet. It's like the ball's way above our feet, any of that type of stuff. If you try to hit this shot, what ends up happening is a lot of times you'll go under it and completely whiff it. So if you ever see a pro completely whiff a shot, it's typically when they're trying to do this one, okay? So we got to make sure the lie is good. The other thing we got to make sure is we don't want the lie to be too soft, because what's going to happen is we are committing to swinging down into the ground, and we want that club to bounce off the ground. And if it's too soft, what happens is the ground gives way, and then the ball just kind of goes nowhere, and it's not doing what you want it to do anyway. So you got to make sure you have those things as you go through this shot. So like I said, you can hit it off shorter grasses, but if the lie is super tight or something like that, it can be a little bit tricky. So you got to make sure you're just judging that and practice the different shots from different lies, okay? So when I go to hit this, as far as hitting the shot, the biggest thing we got to do is, the key to the shot is you have to commit. You have to commit to hitting the shot. There's no, hey, I might do it, I might not. I am going for a flop type shot, okay? So there are varying levels of this flop, but either one I'm trying to hit, I want to make sure I'm committed. So what I'm going to do is set up. I've got the most loft on my club. I've got a 60 degree, and I'm going to be adding loft to the club. So I'm leaning the club back, getting the face up at the sky. The other thing I'm doing is putting the ball in the front of my stance. That's going to make it easier for me to throw the club and slide it under the ball with my swing, which is what we're trying to do. And then lastly, what I'm going to do is lean forward. Again, I'm committing to going down through the ball. So leaning forward helps us do that. So when I set this up, I'm going to be forward, ball forward, handle is back, but my weight is forward, okay? That is what we want to see from a setup. Now, as far as swings, there's a couple of varying degrees that we can do with this, okay? So we can play kind of like a mini flop, which is essentially just taking this setup and just playing like a pitch shot motion, something like that. Ball's going to go up, and what you're going to see is I have maybe a half swing, pretty normal speed through the shot. We're really just trying to get the ball to elevate, and then we'll go from there. The other thing I can do, though, is I can go for the super flop. So the super flop is very high risk, but it can be really cool on the reward part. So what you do is same setup, but here we're going to be making like a V-shaped swing. So I'm going to bring it up, bring it down, and bring the club back up really quickly. So I'm really swinging the club vertically, and I'm going to swing it with some speed, trying to throw the club under the ball. And the more speed I add, now I can throw that ball really high into the air, and that can be good if I've got to go, let's say, over this bunker and then have it land really softly and quickly on the other side. That would be a time where you could do this. You would make sure I'm adding height, but also it is probably going to go really, really far. I can also throw in a little bit of a, hey, I'm going to just swing a little bigger but smoother, okay, and make it go higher, and then the ball doesn't go as far. But you kind of work that part out. You practice when are you going to need those shots, and again, what lie you're hitting from is going to dictate. The mega flop can be very good from super heavy grass. You need speed to cut through the grass, so you got to make sure that I get it and that ball comes out. But it also, again, presents some risk on controlling the ball and making sure you hit it the right way. So adding in a flop, something that people get a little bit scared of. They might think it's a little unnecessary, but in my opinion, it adds a ton of versatility to your short game, and it's going to really help you understand how the club works and add some ball control to your game in general. So it's something I think I like to see people practice and start working on. So if you have questions about it, make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below. We will definitely answer them for you. And as always, make sure you check out our Break 90 plan, okay? 100% free down below, where we talk about things that you need in your game to make sure you know how to do that. So make sure you click that link in the description. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Mm-hmm.